obvious?
Yes. Did you call a doctor, Sheriff? Did anyone call a doctor?
No, sir.
Didn't call a doctor?
No, sir.
Why not?
Well, I can tell you why I didn't. It wasn't necessary, Mr. Finch. She was mighty banged up. Something should have happened. It was obvious.
But you didn't call a doctor? While you were there, did anyone send for one, fetch one, carry her to one?
No, sir.
He answered the question 3 times, Atticus. He didn't call a doctor.
I just wanted to make sure, Judge. Sheriff, you say she was mighty banged up. In what way?
Well,
Just describe her injuries, Heck.
she was beaten around the head. There was already bruises coming on her arms, and it happened about 30 minutes before.
How do you know?
Sorry, that's what they said. Anyway, she was pretty bruised up when I got there, and she had a black eye coming.
Which eye?
Let's see.
Can't you remember?
Her left.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. Was it her left facing you, or her left face looking the same way you were?
Oh, yes, that didn't get her right. It was her right eye, Mr. Finch. I remember now. She was bugged up on that side of her face.
Just tell us what happened. You can do that, can't you? That's enough now. Don't be afraid of Amway here. As long as you tell the truth. All this is strange for you, I know. But you've nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to fear. What are you scared of? What was that? Mr. Finch?
Don't want him doing me like he done Papa, trying to make him out left-handed.
How old are you?
19 and a half.
Mr. Finch has no idea of scaring you. And if he did, I'm here to stop him. That's one thing I'm just sitting up here for. Now you're a big girl, so just sit up straight and tell us what happened. You can do that, can't you?
Well, sir, I was on the porch, and he came along, and you see, there was this old shift robe in the yard Papa brought in to chop up for kindling. Papa told me to do it while he was off in the woods, but I wasn't feeling strong enough then, so he came by.
Who is he? I'll have to ask you to be more specific, please. The reporter can't put down gestures very well.
That and yonder, Robinson.
Then what happened?
I said, come here, N-word, and buzzed up this chiff robe for me. I got a nickel for you. He could have done it easy enough, he could. So he come in the yard, and I went to the house to get him a nickel, and I turned around before I knew it, he was on me. Just run up behind me, he did. He got me around the neck, cussing me and saying dirt. I fought and hollered, but he had me around the neck. He hit me again and again.
Did you scream? Did you scream and fight back?
He chucked me on the floor, he choked me, and took advantage of me.
Did you scream?
Reckon I did, hollered for all I was worth, kicked and hollered loud as I could.
Then what happened?
I don't remember too good, but the next thing I knew, Papa was in the room standing over me, hollering, "Who done it? Who done it?" Then I sort of fainted, and the next thing I knew, Mr. Tate was pulling me off the floor and leading me to the water bucket.
You say you fought him off as hard as you could? Fought him tooth and nail?
I positively did.
You're positive that he took full advantage of you.
He done what he was after.
That's all for the time being. But you stay there. I expect big bad Mr. Finch has some questions. Go.
Tom Robinson to the stand. That'll do, Tom. That'll do.
Tom, what happened to you on the evening of November 21st of last year?
Mr. Finch, I was going home as usual that evening when I passed the Yule's place. Miss Maella were on the porch, like she said she were. It seemed real quiet, and I didn't quite know why. I was studying why, just passing by, when she says for me to come there and help her for a minute. Well, I went inside the fence and looked around for some kindling to work on, but I didn't see none, and she said, "Nah, I got something for you to do in the house." The old door is off its hinges and falls coming on pretty fast. I said, "You got a screwdriver, Miss Maella?" She said she sure had. Well, I went up the stairs and she mentioned to me come inside. I went in the front door and locked the door. I said, "Miss Maella, this door look all right." I pulled it back and forth and those hinges were all right. Then she shut the door in my face. Mr. Finch, I was wondering why it was so quiet, and it come to me that there weren't a chill in the place. Not one of them. And I said, Miss Mayella, where are the children?
Busting up shiffer robes and kindling with one hand, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I reckon so.
Strong enough to choke the breath out of a woman and sling her to the floor?
I've never done that, sir.
But you were strong enough to.
I reckon so, sir.
Had your eye on her a long time, hadn't you, boy?
No, sir, I've never looked at her.
Then you were mighty polite to do all that chopping and hauling for her, weren't you, boy?
I was just trying to help her out, sir.
That was mighty generous of you. You had chores at home after your regular work, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you do them instead of Mrs. Yule's?
I done 'em both, sir.
You must have been pretty busy. Why?
Why what, sir?
Why were you so anxious to do that women's chores?
Looked like she didn't have nobody to help her like I says.
With Mr. Yule and 7 children on the place, boy?
Well, I says it looked like they never helped her none.
You did all this chopping and work for sheer goodness, boy?
Tried to help her, I says.
You're a mighty good fellow, it seems. Did all this for not one penny?
Yes, sir, I felt right sorry for her. She seemed to try more'n the rest of them.
You felt sorry for her. You felt sorry for her. Now, you went by the house as usual last November 21st, and she asked you to come in and bust up a shiffer robe?
No, sir.
Do you deny that you went by the house?
No, sir. She said she had something for me to do inside the house.